Welcome back. Now, yesterday, the sad news that a 21-story building collapsed in Ikoyi yesterday. It came through social media mostly before the news stations, began to give more details, because there was a lot of speculation about how many people were in the building at the time, who it was, and so many questions that had yet to be answered even till this morning.
Yes, indeed. It was very sad, especially with the videos that you could find on social media, people crying, people giving different accounts. It was, however, said that there might have been some people in the building while it collapsed. I think the news we also told, the papers also told about 6 people have been identified as being inside of the building while it collapsed.
Yeah. And then some people, there was also a video of a survivor, one person, and then about 2 bodies that I've seen that were evacuated or that have been taken out already. But the thing now, it gets back to the question: how was this allowed to happen? How was this allowed to happen? So, I was telling someone earlier this morning that even before this time, I'm more comfortable getting into high-rise around my arena area, the older ones, the ones that were built in the 60s and 70s. I'm more comfortable in those ones than in the very, very new ones in the VI and Ikoyi area. I don't know why. I trust those ones even much more than these newer ones. And now we're getting to see. Someone mentioned that, look at there's this luxury building that I know that you can use a spoon to go through the wall to the other place.
Wait, where?
Wow.
Yeah, I don't want to mention.
Ikoyi,
on the island there.
Oh my
you can use as something, if you chip at the wall, it will just going to chip in like that.
Wow, that's scary.
Some of these new buildings.
Anyways,
scary.
Building collapses are not uncommon in this part of the world.
Lagos.
Yes, and this is quite sad. According to reports, it's a construction site. It's still, construction is still ongoing in that building, and it's a luxury apartment. So even earlier that day, the developer had already even brought prospective buyers.
Wow.
Yes.
It was still on sale.
Yes.
Which is very funny, because it was actually told that the Lagos State government had shut that building down because from a year ago, the building consultant had backed off of the construction, saying that they cannot, guarantee the fidelity of the structure, one of the structures, because something about it not reaching standards that they could...
Yes, so I find that means that the developer's integrity
is a question here.
Was at stake, so he had like back out.
So thankfully he did back out. Well, I'm saying thankfully now. Consultant, because he would have probably been on the chopping block right now, because, in the end, especially it's the fact that it's in a highbrow area, you wouldn't expect people to be cutting corners in terms of standards of construction.
It's funny, because I also had this conversation this morning about it, and according to reports still, this is quite a reputable an international construction firm that's handling, and they have handled several building sites across Nigeria. So it's not new to them that this would happen. So that it's not new to them, when it comes to construction. But this is entirely new. There's investigations are still ongoing, of course.
I've got many questions.
So,
One of my questions is, first off, if there were people there, maybe not occupants, but there were people that were still inside a building, and we also had
construction workers.
There were construction workers, but this construction site had been declared like a no-go zone by the government, first of all, and then even the people, the consultants, had already said that this we can't trust, we don't trust fidelity. What are the structures put in place when a building is closed down by a state? Say, okay, this building has been closed down. What do they do? Is there like a cordoned off area, or are there apparatus or mechanisms put in place to ensure that people do not go there? And why has it still been left standing for the past 1 year, even after all these statements and all these documents have been put out about it? Why not just bring it down?
I didn't see this anywhere, but it's not new that people cut corners when it comes to getting away with things in this part of the world. We see it happen. So, for example, there was this estate, very close to my estate. It wasn't an estate before. We just discovered that, wait a minute, this now has a gate, and then before we knew it, it was shut down. I mean, like, I'm sure it was the Lagos State officials, government officials that came and they shut it down. But then I was like, you know what? Give it a couple of days. This thing will be open. Because for them to have shut it down in the first place, it shows that it was not meant to be
Yeah, in the first place. Yeah, true.
Do you understand? So these things happen. I'm not saying that there were discrepancies when it comes to, you know, shutting it down, or maybe the regulatory bodies not doing their job.
But it's Nigeria.
But it's
a corrupt place. People will go around.
Apparently, there were 2 other buildings in the same compound.
There were 3 buildings. And one came down.
Yeah, so 2 others that are still standing. But the company you talked about pulled out after the second one was completed, and the third one started to go up. Now, the integrity of those other 2 buildings, whether they've been sold to people, the property has been sold to people, because I'm thinking about
I'll tell you something.
What a mind, you know, I can't use that word on air, it'll be for people that own the other flats in the same...
Bought them already.
Yes.
But I'll tell you something. Anybody who is a building constructor, not me, I will tell you that once you have such an impact in an area like that, whatever buildings are around them are definitely affected. So you have to test these buildings and make sure that they are capable of withstanding certain stresses and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they are also so those 2 buildings. I wouldn't go next to them.
I think we also
in some climes, even before this had happened, if it had been mentioned over a year that the structural integrity has issues, they have to have a controlled demolition.
Yeah.
That one is confirmed. For talking, there is no testing about the other 2 buildings. They will come down. They have to come down.
Ikoyi lately. Have you seen how many sky-rise buildings are standing?
There
are so many.
The point where I remember reading this thing. There's a book Donald Trump put up, and he has in New York. He has the tallest building, and this was before the 70s when there was a kind of decree came in and all of that, and then even before these high-rise buildings, there was also a report that the permission was given for 15 stories, and then the person took it up to 21. You understand? We see that a lot. We see something that someone just puts a very, you know, weak foundation and all of that, and then you just try and put all of that.
So
my point is that as that thing stays, as if it was given all the warning, it is one too many. It's happened too many times.
Who do we blame, however? Who do we go to? Who do we say?
Anyway, they are still trying to get people out of the rubble. Our condolences to those who have lost to the families of those who have lost their lives in this building collapse. It's really sad, and let's hope that everybody is brought out. Right.
Do stay tuned. It's still Wake Up Nigeria. Even on that sad note, we'll be right back to give you some entertaining stories right after this.